Hello everyone and welcome to FM Tahiti, Yorana. I'm Pelham and in this episode we're going to get into the actual gameplay finally. Who would have thought it, a video with actual FM in. So I'm going to take you through my manager setup, explain a little bit to you about who he is and why he is, and then apply for some jobs. And hopefully by the end of the episode, without dragging on too long, we'll have been given a job offer and I'll show you the team. And then in the episodes after that, we will be looking at tactics, building the team, transfers, and getting to the first game of the season. So here's my manager, Rodrigo de la Vega. My name's not Rodrigo, it's Pelham, as I've pointed out, and Rodrigo de la Vega doesn't seem like a very kind of Tahitian name either. But basically, I've been playing Football Manager or Championship Manager for a while. So the first time I played it was Championship Manager 97-98. Loved playing 99-2000, and then when the split happened and Football Manager 2005 came out, that was when I started university, which was perfect timing because it meant I could basically spend all the time just playing Football Manager. It was a very, very happy time. And one of my saves I played had a player in called Rodrigo de la Vega. So basically I got to the point where I was managing St. Johnston. Very, flash team. Got them into the SPL. Bought this player called Rodrigo de la Vega. And he had one of those real world photos. So he looked like he's one of the game in the face players. You could enter a competition, and if you gave them a photo of your face, you'd be put in as a player, but your position and stats would get randomized. So I think I got some guy called Rodrigo de la Vega, and he was basically this kind of flying winger forward on the left from my side that was far too good for the SPL. He tore it up for years. He would either embarrass everybody in the wing and then score an absolute rocket, or he would embarrass everyone on the wing and then cross it for somebody else to tap it in at the end. And that version of Football Manager didn't have things like dynamic reputation or massive changes in the actual prize money and stuff like that. So eventually I got as far as I could with St. Johnston, moved on to Celtic after I destroyed the old firm so I could get access to their money, and brought him along when he was like 34 and got him to carry on playing for me. And then tragically, my hard drive in my laptop that this game was on just exploded. It literally exploded inside the laptop case and kind of shattered, and that was that game gone, long before cloud saves were a thing, and he was lost for all time. So in honour of how good a player he was, every Football Manager since then, whatever save it is I'm doing, I call my manager Rodrigo de la Vega, and I normally make him Mexican because the player was Mexican. So that's why he's called Rodrigo. I made a few changes. So his birthday is the Cinco de Mayo, still, for his Mexican kind of callback. His nationalities are going to be Australese and Gambier for us, to give him an extra advantage when trying to apply for those national jobs. I don't know if they'll favour having people from their own nations, but it might make it a little bit easier. It might be a bit easier than having a Mexican get the job, for example. No favourite team, because whoever we manage is going to become our favourite. And then the lowest level of kind of qualification is National C, Sunny League footballer. Look at all those 2s and 1s. He's currently wearing his favourite puffer jacket with pink zip and salmon trousers. Maybe a little bit too warm for French Polynesia out on the beach. You'll soon find that out when he goes to his job interviews, and when he does get a job, I'll change his outfit and give him a suit that matches. Unfortunately, there's no option to give him shorts, which is what I think he will actually want. Now, so I'm going to start unemployed. That's my aim. And then I'm going to apply for the jobs. I'm not going to apply for any jobs in the Premiership, so any of these ones, because I want the teams in the Premiership to have a go at sort of winning a few things before I get in there and interfere. I'm not saying I'm going to be winning everything, but it just gives them a kind of head start so they can develop, poach a few players, get a chance of playing in the OCL and things like that before I come along. There's a good chance I'm just going to get sacked from my job anyway. So I'm just going to apply for teams in the Championship. So then it gives me promotion and a title to play for, and then eventually I'll be in the Premiership. I could go down into the Development Gold and play like Noraruto or the Jupiters or the Takaro Terras, things like that. But then I'd spend most of my season playing the under-23s and then have this kind of playoff bit. I don't think that'd be a very interesting initial season to play through. So eventually I might go to one of the teams at this level if I need to build them up, because I'm going to have to move around from team to team a little bit. But until I've sort of got bedded in, I'm going to stick with a team from the Championship. And most of the teams from the Championship are from Marquesas, Gambier, Austral, or Bass and Tuamotun Islands. I think there's only one Tahitian team, which is Tetaroa. So I'm going to start unemployed. It doesn't really matter whether I'm a tracksuit manager or a tactical manager. It's basically just a case of being lucky to be a manager at all at this point. And I'm going to see how I get on. Just let it save. And then we'll apply for just the championship jobs. I'll probably come back for one interview, just so you can see me lie to whoever the chairman is about what it is I'm going to do. And then I'll do the rest of the interviews off camera and come back for the final kind of decisions on offers. So I've filtered it so it's just the championship teams that are showing up here. And apparently the USA, according to the game, are a championship side in French Polynesia. So I think that's a bit of a dig at the US team, but I'm just going to apply all here. Just me know. So apparently I'm favourites for the Moutons, and I'm favourites for Union Rimatora. I have a feeling that really I'm favourite for all of them when it comes down to it. I don't want to brag, but that's what's going to happen. And yeah, there we go. I'm going to pause now and come back for the very first interview. Okay, we're back after waiting for some offers. Before we look at the offers, just point out a lot of the Premiership sides have started hiring people, which is really good. In some of the earlier versions of this, so like 15, 16, 13, whatever, quite often it would take them forever to hire managers, so you'd end up with this weird advantage for the human players because you could get on and do stuff and the other teams were just sort of in limbo. But it looks like they've actually hired quite a few people. Got 3 offers in, well, offers for interview anyway, in Tetaroa, so the one on island originally owned, well not originally owned, but leased out by Marlon Brando, which is the team my brother used to play with when we were doing network saves. Mohatani San Pedro, an island in the Marquesas that's been ravaged by feral sheep, and Uapoa Catholic, an island that's got a big Catholic mission on that helped quarantine various sort of villages to stop sort of illness from spreading. I think we'll get more offers. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the interview for one of them with you, and then I'll pause it, do the interviews for all of them, because there's no need for you to see me lie to all these chairmen. You might as well just see me lie to one of them, and then we'll come back and look at the offers when they come in. First thing I'm probably going to do, though, is I'm going to decline this interview, because this is the team my brother used to play as. Therefore they're scum, so I don't want to play as the Reefers at all. And I'm pretty sure I'll get offers elsewhere, so I'm going to decline that interview. And let's do the San Pedro interview instead. So if you look at San Pedro, they've got a few players in. Attribute masking's off, so we can't see anything about them. Let's look at the general profile. Kit's okay. Nothing special going on. Because it's an island that's overrun with feral sheep, they've got an evil sheep logo, San Pedro. Because the island was called San Pedro by an explorer. No legends, no icons, no favoured personnel. This is going to be the same for most of the, well, I say most of them, all of the teams. None of them are going to have any favoured personnel. We've got a blank slate to work with. So here we are with the chairman, Jess Guyot, or Guyot. I'm definitely saying one of those wrong, and I'm pretty sure it's Guyot. I know how to say Jess. Right, the board are pleased I've taken the time. I'm glad. Let's get down to business. Why I'm in the running for lots of jobs? Because I want to eat, I need a wage, so I'm going to apply to everybody. Manager comfortable working with limited resources. Are you that manager? I'm going to say yes, I am. Even though I reckon for the first couple of seasons I'm going to ruin somebody financially on this. Just because I'll probably need to try and bring some players in, and I don't think the wage budgets are going to be huge by any means. But normally I like to play quite responsibly. Financially when I get going, so I had some saves where I just work on maybe half the wage budget I'm given and that kind of thing. I'll sell players over a certain amount no matter what. That kind of strategy, almost kind of Moneyball-esque one, just bringing in players that work for the roles I need. But for the moment, I'm going to spend whatever money they give me if I can. So yeah, I'll look after your finances. Line number 1. Are there any aspects I want to be judged on? So they want me to sign young players for the first team, which is a bit different from developing them from your own youth academy. And I'm going to say, yep, I'd like to do that. No matter what they ask me to do in any of these interviews, I'm going to say yes, just to get the job, whether I plan on doing that or not. To be honest, I think I probably will end up signing some young players for the first team at some point, because that's where I like to do it. But also, all of the teams have got some players in already, but it's going to be the first youth take or two that's really going to flesh out the rest of the team, so I'm going to try and snipe some players, young players eventually. Nothing else to judge me on? Top half finish. No idea how they stack up compared to the rest of the team, so I'll just say I can do that. I'm not going to promise any more. Before I do, just look at this. Financially, they're okay. Estimated values 110,000. I guess a lot of that's just the stadium rather than anything else. Wage bill of 1,800, and they can offer a maximum wage of 1,000, but most of them are on 100. I think pretty much everybody's on 100 to start off with. Yep, top half finish I'll do. Transfer budget of almost 10 grand. I think most player values from looking around are about £350, so that's plenty of money. I'll probably just put that into the wage budget if I need to. So I think it's realistic. Proposed wage budget of 1,790, so they're £10 over currently. So I'm going to say I'm happy with that. I don't think they'll give me any more than that, so I'm going to say I'm happy. No other requests, and that concludes the interview. They'll be in touch. I bet you will. San Pedro. Thank you very much, Jess. So, I'm going to pause now, and I will come back once I have some offers to discuss. Yorana, and welcome back to the next part. So I've had a few offers that have come in. So Moutons have made me an offer. I decided to delay to see who else would come in. San Pedro with the crazy evil feral sheep have also offered me a job, and I've delayed that. Catholic have now offered me one. I'm not particularly drawn to them. I know it sounds a bit weird because I've made all these teams and made some of their shoddy kits, but I'm not drawn particularly to what these ones that have just offered me the jobs. Moutons, Catholic, and San Pedro, I'm not massively drawn to them. Maybe Mohatani have got potential, but I'll delay it. I don't want to be a cheesy beggar at this stage, although I have rejected a couple of interviews. Now I know I've got a few people interested. Hiva Oa or the Humpbacks. These are the two I kind of wanted. So Hiva Oa Dominica are known as the Gods. They play on Hiva Ova in the Marquesas Islands, and that's where the Marquesa National Stadium is, so they rent that stadium, they share it with the national team, which might cause them some issues in the long run. And they've got the kind of Easter Island tiki face there, because they are the Gods. The Humpbacks are the team I played with in a lot of versions of the database before I started doing the YouTube stuff, and they're from the Austral Islands, they're from Ruratu, and I really quite like them. So actually I think I might make my decision kind of now. I just like the kit, and I like the minimalist humpback. Well, it's not even a humpback whale. If you know your animals, that's not a humpback whale. It is a whale, it's not a humpback whale. But I might go for them, just because I already know I love them. They're from the Austral Islands like my manager is. I don't have to worry about playing in a bigger national stadium, because Hiva Oa, their facilities are, they play in the Alvaro de Mendana Porch, so that's the Spanish explorer. 4,000-seater, council owned, that's going to be an issue eventually. So I might chicken out and just go for the Humpbacks with their 500-seater, cannot remember the name of it, Ruratu Reef. Or Ruratu Reef, I don't know why I'm adding extra letters. So there we go, I'm going to say yes to the Humpbacks. So what are they offering me? £375 a week, not bad. If you told me that I could have £375 a week to live on the island of Vanuatu, managing what is largely an amateur football club, even though I have no background in football, I would say yes, right now. I would leave my house and go there. I would probably let my wife know along the way that's where we were moving to, and I'm sure she'd be fine. I think £375 per week would do it. Transfer budgets, just shy of 10 grand. Wage budget, just shy of 2. From all the interviews I did, almost all the wage budgets were about 1.8, 1.9. There were one or two teams that have clearly gone a little bit mad and had like a wage budget of 3 grand. They weren't worth any more. They weren't particularly richer than anyone else. They just had more ambition, I guess, financially. They were very short term. They want me to finish top half. There are no agreed philosophies. Most of the interviews asked me either to develop our own youth or to sign youth, and a couple of teams were dead set against signing high profile players, and I don't think there was any opportunity to sign any high profile players. I think we'll just be hiring people from our island chains to begin with. So that's it. Let's do this. Well, actually, I'll politely decline Hiva Oa. Don't burn that bridge, because I might go there eventually. And let's go for the humpbacks. Stefan Tezu, which again, ruining that name. So let's process it and have a look. So De La Vega takes charge of the humpbacks. My Australese guy there. Let's go through this and I'll show you the squad, and then we'll end the video for this episode here. Let's attend this meeting. Hi Rodrigo. Hi Stefan. Welcome. Yeah, looking forward to it. Do you want to we can send over an overview of our history? I'm going to say yes, just not to annoy him, but I know the history. Not just because I edited it, but also because none of the teams have won anything. There is no history for them. Press conference? Yeah, I'll go talk to the press. Get ready to start battling the local Vanuatu press. Yeah, thanks for the introduction. It's quite short meetings, there's not much going on. So I've got an assistant manager, which is good. So it means most of the teams will have at least somebody else in the back room. Mark Pirri. Day-to-day running. Inter-squad friendly. I mean, no, I don't like the inter-squad friendlies. I will actually set some up with my under-23s anyway, but I'll set the time myself. Yeah, let's meet the backroom staff. I think he might be my only backroom staff, but let's do that. I don't need to know whose contracts are running out in the next 12 months because they'll all be running out. I think they're all set that way. Thanks for that. Thanks, Mark. So, tactics I'll do in the next video because I've got an idea of how I want to play. Training, that is going to be Mark Pirri's job, and at least until we get better. All of the clubs are set as professional because, first of all, I was struggling to get it so it would trigger automatically when you got to the Premiership that you became professional. But also, in the long run, when I've done tests, I've sort of soak test a lot of these databases for about 60, 70 seasons to see what happens, how they develop. And what tends to happen is, without a human player, maybe 1 to 3 clubs get massive, and they become professional. If it says everyone is semi-professional, all the money goes to them, and they pick off all the other teams, and no one else really ever gets to compete that way. By setting them all as professional, everyone can protect their players and their youth intake a little bit more to make it more competitive. It also means financially everyone is kind of on a precipice, in that if you get things wrong, you'll go bankrupt. And if you go bankrupt and you go into admin, there is a point deduction in the Premiership and the Championship. So it's important not to do that. There are consequences. So we have no honours won. I knew that. Average junior coaching, fairly basic youth, below average youth, and adequate training. So, no major advantages there. Talk to me about my players. I'll have a look at them now. Like I said, they're all in the last bit of their contract, last 12 months. Scouting centre, as I have no one in my recruitment team, I will leave until next episode when I try and recruit a few people. Scouting budget of £2,000 could be good. I don't know how much the packages are going to cost. But let's have a look at our squad. Hamish Bennett is an interesting name. Actually, what I'll do first, go to club. Who's the key player? The key player is meant to be Daniel Naran. Look at him. Look how bad he is. So he's an attacking midfielder centre, and he can play on the wings. He is physically pretty fit. He can run. He's unambitious, which I don't like. A flair and work rate and technique. Like, there's nothing amazing going on there other than the fact he can run and he will work hard at running. So that's the standard we're working with. Hamish, our keeper, looks bad, to be honest, but I think I might mention in one of the other videos. If not, I think they're about Vanarama regional level, about that. A bit better than the lower leagues in England, I think. So if you've ever played, I think it's Dan BTHC, he's got, last year for FM18, I think for 17 he did like a 20 level database. You can get really low down. My players are better than those lower reaches, but not by much. I think if you put them in the Vanarama regionals, they'll get relegated, but not immediately. So Hamish Bennett, Darren Chant, defender, doesn't look great, to be honest. Jordan Chisholm, physically looks quite good, striker. I mean, he plays as pressing forward, which is good because I'll probably use a pressing forward. Zach Henderson, mentals are a little bit better, but okay, not a great striker. Well, he's composed, not a great striker. Oh, he'll play as a target man. That works. I like playing with a target man. Joe Jansen, meh. Mark McIntyre, meh. I should point out these names aren't probably traditional Australese names from the Austral Islands. To make the Austral Islands, the Bass Islands, Marquesas, I had to replace some of the nations in Oceania with these. So there are a couple of nations in Oceania that have kind of disappeared to make way for them, and that means they've taken on their name database. So I can't remember. I'll check eventually. I'll check now. I don't even know why. Samoan. So Samoa was the team that got replaced by the nation that got replaced by the Austral Islands. So they've got names from the Samoan database. James Manuel could be good. Like, he's fast. Can't cross, but he's fast. Daniel Naran, our favourite. Jordan Naran. Is he his brother? He's not. He's a humpback supporter, which is good. Daniel Naran, again, physically okay. Jordan Naran is the one we just looked at, so I've gone back one by accident. Sam Richards can cross, and he can run. He might be quite good. Terrible off the ball, but he could be good running with it. David Thomas, mentally alright. That's about it. Samuel Tezu, same last name as our chairman, but he's a great player, so I don't think we'll be keeping him. Seth Waite looks good on the right, actually. I'd say he's probably my best player so far. Technically good, so he'll be taking corners and free kicks, probably. Cross. Michael Weaver is rubbish. Chris Webb, ish. Craig Williamson, not a great striker, but could have potential. I think what we'll find is as we play the matches, we'll see how they actually perform. When your stats are actually this bad, it gets quite difficult to work out who's good and who's terrible. Sam Andeweg. I like his name. I like his mental stats down here. He could be a good one. And back to Hamish. That's our team. That's the Humpbacks. So the Humpbacks, I'll be putting up some videos with different island chains where I'll talk a little bit more about each of the clubs. But the Humpbacks are a team from the Austral Islands. They're on Ruru. They're called the Humpbacks because from the beach on Ruru, because it's kind of like a raised coral beach with quite a stiff drop-off, you can whale watch from Ruru. You can actually go there on holiday if you've got the money and the patience for the excessive flights to get there. It is a stunning looking destination if you are going on holiday. I'm not going to be going there for real, I'm going there virtually. So thanks for watching this. I'll end it here. In the next video we'll go through tactics, transfers, getting ready for the fight to get the Ruru Humpbacks up into the Premiership. Thanks very much.